What's up, Model FAs? David DeCelle here, CEO of Model FA and your host of the Model FA podcast. And joining me today are two, I would consider, and hopefully they would agree, friends of mine who are not in the US. They are across the pond, so to speak, in the UK. And I've had the fortune to work with both of them in a formal capacity. And I've been able to have the pleasure of really just seeing their practice take off. And what's interesting is one of the key ways in which their practice has taken off is their intentional and consistent use of LinkedIn to build their brand and legitimately drive appointments. So I'm excited to unpack this today. We have Sam Luke and Lawrence Bearman with us today. The other thing I like is if you're watching the video portion of this, they're not the average age of an advisor. They're younger in nature, but they're killing it. So Sam, Lawrence, welcome to the show.
Thanks, David.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the kind words.
Well, let's dive in. So, Sam, give me a sense of your background. How'd you get into the industry in the first place? And then Lawrence, I'll kick it over to you to do the same.
Um, I pretty much joined the industry 3 or 4 years ago. I think I was 20, so probably 4 years ago or 21 maybe. And basically, one of my good friends from school fell into it and said, "Hey, do you want to give it a go?" And I said, "Yeah." And I just did. There was no particular intention. It kind of just unfolded and happened, which I'm pretty grateful for. So, yeah.
Sweet. And were you like in school for finance related stuff, or what was your background there?
No, so when I basically finished college at 18, and then we went into COVID for a couple of years. And then we came out of COVID, and then I pretty much just went straight into financial services. This,
Uh, Finished college at 18. I didn't realize you were that
that's
smart.
that's high school. So we have a
Oh, you
different.
guys call high
Yeah.
school
I didn't
college?
finish. I didn't finish university at 18. Hell no.
Oh,
Um,
I thought I had all the different words dialed in, and you just
uh,
because I was actually going to bust your chops and be like, I thought they call it university. So that's really cool, actually. Never even went to college, but you got into the industry at a young age, 20, 21 years old. Um, that's
I mean,
uh, that's impressive.
I tried university for basically a couple of weeks during COVID because you couldn't do anything else, and just didn't find it particularly. I didn't find I was learning much, frankly, which was probably the course I was doing in the university I was at, but I didn't think it was the best use of my time, I'd say.
Sam, uh, this makes a lot of sense. Me knowing you, I don't picture you as a university style person. I picture you as someone who needs to go and run and do something productive as opposed to sit still and listen.
Yeah, I've never got on well with sitting still, to be fair.
Lawrence, give us a sense of your background. How'd you get into the space?
Yeah, mine was more like mainstream, let's say. So went to university, did maths and economics, knew I wanted to jump at job in finance. Found just was looking for opportunities and found an internship just through like networking with a guy that was a financial advisor, knew nothing about the industry. And then basically in those 2 weeks just fell in love with the industry. Like the idea that you can work your own hours, earn your own income, things like that. I was just like drawn to it straight away. So then straight out of university, worked with a guy that I interned with, and then it's been sort of 5 years since.
And who are the types of folks, Lawrence, that you found yourself enjoying working with?
As in clients wise,
Yeah.
for me, it's like people similar to me. So I like quite. I work with probably the younger clients than most people that are quite entrepreneurial and quite ambitious. So I tend right now, obviously, I've niched recently to lawyers, but really high earning potential people that are really, really driven that we just get along. And I think it's something else I said to you as well is I like to work with people that don't expect to see like a financial advisor in a suit. They just want a human. They want someone they can trust and just like be real with. So I've kind of now leaned in towards that and just like want to work with people that I genuinely enjoy working with. and they like enjoy me as well.
Yeah, I remember you saying on one of our calls of like, if they have a problem with me in a t-shirt, like those aren't my type of people that I want to work with anyways, and that's okay, but I like that you're uh unapologetically yourself, and I think that um it's probably received well, especially in your marketplace, because a lot of attorneys are probably similar to you, but a lot of them are suited and booted, so to speak. So it's almost like, they meet with you and they have a breath of fresh air and like normalcy from, the act that they're putting on during the day.
Yeah, exactly.
And Sam, you have a different marketplace that you're working with, and I'm setting this stage because it's interesting to see. Sam, I would have expected your marketplace is more receptive to the work that's being done on LinkedIn, and I was surprised, Lawrence, when I heard it was also effective for you, given your marketplace. But Sam helped set the stage with the types of folks that you work with.
Probably 80% of my clients are at Amazon Web Services, and then the rest of them are other tech companies. And I've got a handful of non-tech clients, but vast majority of them work for some kind of technology company, and the vast majority of that vast majority is Amazon Web Services. Um, Average age is probably between 40 and 50, I'd say. And yeah, high income. They're all really, really intelligent, which you have to be to work for these companies, which I think makes our job quite easy because it's you just explain it to them, they get it, they know it makes sense. We don't have to explain the basics over and over again, which I think really helps us actually.
Hmm. Um, how did you, Sam, first get started? So when you started as an advisor, and it's like, okay, go and get clients. Like, what did that look like in the early days?
Just messaging people on LinkedIn.
Just banging it out over and over and over again. And did you start with people in the tech space, or did you start in a
So
different marketplace?
just anybody,
Anyone? Yeah.
anybody with a LinkedIn account.
Lawrence, what about you when it was time to get clients? Where'd you start?
Well, so I started in an employed role where I definitely struggled much more, and was like kind of reliant on being given leads and things like that. But then I was like, you know what? There's an easier way to do this. So I was like, how can I figure out to get clients myself? And I knew LinkedIn was an avenue. So I just started posting, and started a bit of messaging, and then like just slowly got traction there. But probably similar to Sam initially, where it was more like all guns like shooting from the hip rather than more targeted. And I feel like as we've gone on, we've got more and more targeted, and it's got more and more effective.
I like that you went to say guns ablazing. That's something that's a saying here in Florida. I'm surprised you know that over there in the UK. um, now, which one of you, and I don't even know if you know this, so maybe you can discuss amongst yourself, but which one of you guys started on like actually posting content regularly on LinkedIn first? Do we know who that is?
We know exactly who that is because I was telling Sam for about a year that he needs to start posting,
A year, six
or at
months.
least 6 months. I was like, there's so much value in posting. He's like, no, I'll just keep messaging, I'll keep messaging. And then finally he did it. He was like, Lawrence, why didn't you tell me sooner?
So, Lawrence, where did you learn sort of the importance of being active on LinkedIn? Because on the surface, I agree. If you're just messaging people over and over and over again, and then they go and click on your profile, and you have nothing for them to look at, that's going to be viewed differently than if you have a bunch of valuable stuff. Um, so where did you first get that inspiration of actually posting as well?
I actually don't know. I think it just was like I was looking at all the different avenues of how you can get leads, and obviously this day and age, social media is much more effective. And I was like, where are the people going to be? And like LinkedIn just is natural. Like you're not really going to go to Instagram or TikTok straight away. So I wouldn't say there was like a trigger to doing that. I was just like trialing different things, and this just stuck because it was working. Like I was still doing paid leads and other things like that, but LinkedIn was just the most effective. So I then just ran with that. Um, Obviously, as I went on, I learned more, and then obviously, big shout out to Louis, who Sam and I work with, who really then helped us figure out what we were doing, how to be posting, what to be posting, things like that.
So it sounds like, and I am aware of Louis as well. It sounds like you were kind of figuring it out on your own, doing what you thought was best, and then you put your money where your mouth is, and actually brought on someone who's specialized in that LinkedIn process to help refine it. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, exactly. And it's one of those where you wish you did it sooner because you were just wasted time from before.
Yeah. Um, Sam, what got you over the hump to finally listen to some feedback about posting?
You, frankly.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
sweet.
So the first time that I realized that what Lawrence was saying actually made sense after ignoring him for 6 months. Um, and I always knew it was something I should do, but I always perceived that I didn't have time to actually implement it, or I didn't know how to do it. It was just this big thing that I didn't understand how to do. I knew it was working for Lawrence. I knew I probably should be doing it, but actually the first step is really difficult. And you pushed me to take the first step by you set an action, which was record one video for LinkedIn. Don't even post it. Don't do more than one. Just make one. Made it, and then the next week we posted it. And I remember seeing that collectively people watched that 30-second video for something like 44 minutes. And I was like, okay, well, I've put 5 minutes into making it and spoken to people for nearly an hour. Hundreds of people have seen it. Many of them are target market. That's clearly a very good use of my time and a very good thing to do. And that's when it clicked. And I wasn't consistent from that point forward, but I knew that I needed to be from that point forward. And then, so then I was doing some stuff with your help on LinkedIn and building a bit better. And then I worked with Louis. And that's when it went really, really well. When I just had somebody, LinkedIn specialist, making me do it, seeing the results that Lawrence was getting were amazing, and seeing my own results just start to compound. And but the first step was definitely you when you said make one video.
So, Lawrence, let me give you some advice for when you're giving other people advice. If the advice is free, it doesn't always come off as valuable. So next time you want Sam to do something, charge him an arm and a leg, and then he'll listen and follow through.
Yeah, he has an easy sell as well, so he probably would pay as well.
Probably would. Probably.
Um, but what's interesting, and I think this is the importance of when you're building any business, and obviously in this case we're talking about a financial planning business and clientele. It's important to not only pay for advice to shorten your learning curve, but to collaborate with your peers because you'll continue to push each other, you'll continue to share ideas. And even though you guys have similar goals of what you want to accomplish, you're targeting different groups of people. So you'd be silly to not sort of mastermind together. So my understanding so far, and then from what I know about working with you guys, my understanding is you know, Lawrence, you started off on LinkedIn. Sam, you then got that process in motion. But then Sam, you were the first one to actually start spending money on LinkedIn and boosting ads from my understanding. And Lawrence, you're now in the midst of doing it. And I think you even said on our call yesterday or a recent call, like, man, I wish I had done this sooner, just like Sam had said about, content in general. So, Sam, what was the sort of thought process, decision-making process of, all right, I'm gaining some traction, I'm booking some appointments to let me actually put my money where my mouth is and get this in front of more eyeballs?
Well, it's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Well, if it's working
Yeah.
organically,
I mean, look, so people look at their phones. If you look at your screen time 5 hours a day or something, so why would you not be on their phone? If somebody was looking at that wall there for 5 hours a day, I'd put an advert on it. Why would you not do that on a phone? So the content works organically. People are receptive to it in a niche. Why would you not do everything you can to really, really bring the message in and really get it across?
and Lawrence, on your end, what finally got you over the hump? I mean, I'd imagine that there's collaboration amongst you two, but there's also probably some healthy competition amongst you two where it's like, well, man, Sam's now getting more appointments than me, where I was getting more appointments than him. So, you kind of guys just going like back and forth. But what finally got you, Lawrence, to, start spending some money to join the club, so to speak?
I think it was twofold. Number one was Sam had a week where he paid. I can't remember how many. You had like 30 appointments booked or something just crazy from one post that you boosted. I was like, I didn't believe him at first. Like, I genuinely just didn't believe him. And then he showed me. I was like, oh my god, like this is crazy. And then I think you also just like helped me get over the line. You just like you kind of just said it to me straight, like just stop being a wimp and like just do it.
Yeah,
Those
definitely use a
words,
different
David.
word than the win.
Yeah, didn't use that word.
um, so what's probably most fascinating to me with this LinkedIn process, and I'd like you to both give an example because I think they're silly examples, but it's wild to see, how impactful it was. So, Sam, there was one post of yours that went viral that I think was like of you holding like a pizza or something silly like that. So I'm curious to know, like, can you describe what that photo was and then what the caption was? And then I want to kind of dissect that a little bit more to determine why that. And when I say viral, I think it was like 20, 40, 60,000 views or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, the unpicking the virality point is actually quite easy. People love pizza. And it could have just been a picture of a pizza, and probably the same amount of people would have seen it. No, in all seriousness, it was a picture of me holding a pizza outside a pizza place, which was just an old picture from a year or two ago. The content itself was about the disparity between what people at Amazon get paid on paper, what hits their bank account, and the fact that they just don't feel as financially well off as they should. You'd think if you're earning £250,000 a year, you'd feel rich, but they don't. And why don't they? Well, they're paying loads of tax, they're not saving money, they're not investing properly, and all these other reasons. So that I think just really resonated with them. And yeah, it just took off.
So pizza aside, which is just fascinating that it was a pizza picture that helped. But pizza aside, when someone comes across your content at Amazon and you're literally, because of your experience in working with people like them, you're able to put in words exactly how they're feeling. It resonates so well because they feel like that post was made for them specifically. Lawrence, what
Mhm.
was one of your most viral posts that not only from an eyeballs perspective, but from a meetings generated perspective?
Oh, funny enough, I also had a pizza post go viral.
I said it was pizza.
Clearly just post a picture of you with pizza and it will go viral. It's just simple. But no, so one of the best ones I had was, I mean, virality definitely helps, but it's not a viral post doesn't guarantee leads, right? It's actually sometimes viral posts get you nothing. I was fortunate enough to have one post that went viral and also got me a load of leads. And it was literally just me pointing at my screen with like this diagram I draw to my clients when I first speak to them, just saying like, if you're earning this amount of money at a law firm, you probably just have money in cash because you have no time and a workplace pension because you haven't had time to do anything. And then just like explain like this is the reason why it's like not a good outcome. And it went off. Like I'm just looking now, it's got 160,000 impressions, which is just like crazy. So yeah, I think it's playing. I think the key thing of what works on LinkedIn is playing on the pain points of what they actually are feeling like is an issue and writing to that. You can't write like if I was to say what the solution is straight away, that wouldn't be as engaging. It's like talking specifically about their pain points, how they're feeling, that then they resonate with.
And are you guys having calls to action on each of your posts? Is it only some of the posts? Like, how do you guys think through that?
Some of them. And I think a soft call to action is really good. So often I've got 20 recommendations on my LinkedIn page now down at the bottom, which I think we had a bet about, Lawrence, by the way. I don't remember the terms of the bet, but I think we had a race to 20. And I'll just, do you
You can
remember?
win that one.
I'll just direct people down there because they'll see 15 recommendations from their colleagues at Amazon or AWS, and then it's just so obvious that the service is legitimate. Everybody then is basically a referral. There's so much social proof there that that's a really soft call to action, and will make people's minds up, I think.
Lawrence, what's your philosophy on that?
So I agree. I think you don't want to overkill on call to action because people just get like annoyed by it. I think it's like the soft approach is better. The kind of the best balance I found is that almost not really doing call to action on the posts and then going in the DMs. So like one of the first DMs I'll do to anyone I connect with is like, "Hey, good to connect. Was there anything I could possibly help with, or are you just here for the content at the moment?" Either they've seen the content and they like enjoy it already, or they'll then go and look at the content, like see it resonates with them, and then come back to me. So like I found that the best way to get them over the line is actually in the DMs, but the content like gives social proof and just like shows that you know what you're talking about as well. So it's like the combination of the two.
Can you share that language again that you message people? Because I think that was worded very well.
Yeah. So it's like, hi, first name, good to connect. Was there anything I can possibly help with at the moment? Or are you just here for the content? And basically it's just like, it's so soft. And if they do have a problem, they'll just tell me straight away. Or they say, actually, no, not for now, but thanks for reaching out. I'm now in their DMs. So my post will then appear on their feed more. And they'll probably they're more likely to come back to me later on. So it's not like pushy. It's just very, very soft.
Yeah, I like that. You're coming off as uh, helpful as opposed to helpful and grateful, right? Thanks for connecting. But also you're I like that. If they just randomly connected and they hadn't seen the content, they're more enticed to be like, what's the content he's referencing? So that's cool. Um, Sam, I love your approach with the lunches that you do with Amazon folks. Can you share what it is that you're doing, why you're doing it, and why you get them to take a picture during that lunch?
I haven't been doing it as much as I wanted,
Oh, well, now the whole world is going to know, so you have to follow through.
but that's because I've had so many other meetings from LinkedIn. So
Okay, humble brag.
um, I yeah. So something that's worked really well is go for lunch with the client, ask if you can get a picture for LinkedIn, and again, that's more social proof. Other people at the same firm will see it. It catches eyeballs, it catches attention, loads of social proof, and I think that's really really good. Just really hammering home the fact that I'm not a stranger from the internet. I'm actually a real person. My office is 5 minutes walk from their office. I know loads of people that they know. It's a very, very high trust environment. I think that's important, particularly on the internet, when with older people as well, who are maybe a bit more skeptical about approaches online. And there's always adverts about scams. And I think our regulator actually says if somebody approaches you online and offers financial advice, do not reply and report them because it's a scam. So, like, that you need to build a lot of trust if you're going to use this method.
Do you ever get someone to say they're not open to a picture? Like I know some advisors that would feel uncomfortable asking that. What's your
No,
experience been?
no one's. I mean, I don't go for lunch with every client because I just don't have the time or the calorie budget. And I think the ones that I go with are quite likely will have a good relationship. Probably they'll be open to it. But also with anything like that, it is important to be really. You have to be agnostic as to what they say. You have to uh, mention the fact that they can say no if they prefer because money is a private thing and they might not want other people knowing that they're working with me. So they need to know that it's fine. Whatever they want to do is fine, but it would mean a lot to me if they're happy to take a picture and use that for LinkedIn.
Oh, you add the mean a lot to me in there. There's one of the most powerful emotions is guilt.
It does mean a lot to me.
Um, it's it's powerful too because when you post it with their permission, you tag them in it. It's now on their feed. The other folks that they're connected to see it. Hey, who's that Sam guy? I've been seeing his posts, all over the place. Like, is he actually legit? Boom, now you're in the conversation.
So the thing that I haven't done is tagging people in it, and that is amazing. So Lawrence, did you see Louis tagged us in
Yeah,
post this week.
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I thought that was amazing, and the results looked. That post looks like it did really well. So I think tagging them super important. That's
Yeah.
something that I need to do.
Lawrence, are you doing anything similar or different that we haven't talked about on LinkedIn, or have we covered everything for your strategy?
I think that's pretty much it. Like it really is. It comes down to just like consistency from posting and also messaging, not being too forceful. And if they don't like come on board initially, you're following up with posts. Like that's the follow up. So like they then naturally just come back again. So that's the extent of LinkedIn, and it just does work really, really well. And then obviously you just if you put money into the post as well, it just then exacerbates it.
Hmm. Um, so up until this point, we've somewhat, I guess, put the two of you up on a pedestal with the success of LinkedIn, but with growth. And I know each of your businesses. So I'd like you to sort of share with the growth that you're experiencing, with the truly flood of meetings that you have. What are some of the challenges that you have at the moment that you're working through so that as people are listening, that, maybe a chapter behind you, so to speak, that then will have a bunch of meetings. What are some of the things they need to be prepared for to solve with that growth? Lawrence, I'll start with you on that.
Well, it's kind of what we've been working on a lot, which is just like all around efficiency. So, like, first of all, doing your highest value task, which is meetings, and trying to outsource or pass down the admin. So that's been a lot of what I've been focusing on is trying to get streamlined processes of like the report writing, the chasing up of admin, whatever that is, making sure that it's really, really as efficient as possible. And I'm doing as little of it as possible so that then I can scale more and more because I think I initially had in my like mindset I can maybe look after 100 clients, but I think if you get everything really really streamlined, you can easily increase that capacity. And obviously, the way that me and Sam are growing, we're going to get to that pretty quickly. So knowing that we can then take on more as well is like a really key consideration.
Hmm. Sam, what about you?
I mean, recently it's kind of a resource issue. I mean, this is fairly niche, probably to the situation to me and Lawrence, but just a staffing like a resource problem. So my administrator's moving to another advisor, so I need to get a new one. And then it's currently I've got kind of a pooled resource internally where I can use it on an hourly rate, but I'm about ready to get somebody full time, but it's a big commitment and it's a massive responsibility paying someone's salary. So that feels like a bit of a constraint, um, which I think comes back to the efficiency thing. So having somebody full time is so much more efficient than having a bunch of administrators and you don't know which cases with which of them, and it's very hard to follow up on. Um, yeah, I mean, it's really good to be busy, but it just leads to new bottlenecks. And I think efficiency is super important and just getting the support there. One thing I wish I did was get support sooner more support sooner and just have more admin because there's no need for you to even be sending emails. You don't have time. You should just see clients, deliver services.
Yeah, and it's easy to, and I agree, and it's easy to say that like in hindsight, but there's also a lot of hesitation where, especially when you first start off, like your revenue is inconsistent, and like you said, it's a commitment to commit to put food on someone else's table where even for yourself early on, like sometimes you're eating steak and sometimes you're eating ramen, so to speak, depending on the month of revenue. But I think if you're thinking about hiring staff, you're probably a little late or just on time. As opposed to, oh man, I need staff. You're way behind. Now, the benefit that you two have is that neither one of you are married yet. So when there's overflow of work, you're not shy to put in work on the weekends, early morning, late in the evenings, but figuring that out sooner rather than later, just as your lives, continue to progress with, spouse and kids or, whatever over time. It's imperative to, because when you think about it, if you're hiring someone that's working with you 40 hours a week, effectively that's 40 hours of freed up time that you now have, which was the mornings, nights, and weekends and during the day in between meetings. So what what's next for you guys? Like what do the two of you pushing for on the horizon? Like what's your vision, Sam?
I think just more of the same. Just the same services delivered in the same way to the same people, but more volume, more of everything, basically.
Well, it's interesting you say that, and Lawrence, I apologize for throwing you under the bus a little bit, but Lawrence and I had a conversation yesterday because things have been going really well, and he's positioned to have another really good month this month, and he thankfully admitted yesterday that he started to feel little complacency, trickle in, so to speak. And I think, anyways, Lawrence, we handled that on our call. But it's interesting because where you guys are at now, you had hoped and dreamed to be at when you first started, but where you're at now is nowhere close to where you hope and dream to be. So it's constantly moving that goalpost in a healthy way to give you something to work towards. And oftentimes it's not changing anything drastically, but more so, Sam, like you said, which is do the same thing but help more people and ultimately as a result generate more revenue. And in order to help more people, then you're able to, now your marketing needs to be dialed in, your sales process needs to be dialed in, and then what we just talked about, your sort of back office process, let's call it, needs to be dialed in and outsourced off of your plate so that you maintain the capacity that you had on day one when you started and you had nothing else to do but to find business. Lawrence, what about you? What's next?
Well, I think the big thing we did was change my mindset, because I think before, if you'd asked me that, like, I don't know, 3 months ago, it would have been way different to where it is now. Like, I feel like I've got such a high expectation of myself now. So yeah, it's definitely like keep growing the business, keep taking on some really good clients. I think the bigger thing is taking on higher quality clients as well, moving forwards, just so that I'm maximizing my potential. Let's just say. I think it's efficiency as well. So is that there's obviously a load of stuff going into it, but for me, it's just like more of the same. Keep grinding away, keep doing a good job with my clients, and just keep growing the business, and then figure out from there. Like, I still haven't decided whether I go down the route of bringing advisors underneath me or just doing my own thing. But like, I'll figure that out as we go on, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Well, gentlemen, I've had the pleasure of knowing a lot of this already in advance in working together. And I also love that you're both really good at keeping me in the loop in between and, asking questions in between, sharing wins in between. So even though the two of you are probably the folks that I've worked with that are the farthest away from me. I'd argue that I feel the closest to you, even with some of the people that I work with here in Florida. So I appreciate you guys joining today. I appreciate you guys trusting me along the way. But if folks want to keep an eye on what you're doing, follow along with your journey, where can they connect with you? I know that answer, but where can they connect with you?
Well, yeah, LinkedIn, basically.
I wanted someone to say it. It was obvious though. Well, sweet gentlemen, I appreciate your time today. For everyone tuning in, appreciate your time and attention as always. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Lawrence, Sam, have a good rest of your day.
Thanks,
That's
David.
all. David.